We are so pleased to be here today to be celebrating Black History Month 2015. We do this every year, so we're just thrilled and delighted to be back in 2015. This year, we're going to have our In Conversation panel to discuss a very important subject to us. An in-depth look back at the culture-defining style of the soul era. I know a little bit about that. To help us understand better how Black style has influenced the fashion industry, we have assembled a very impressive panel of trendsetters, fashion experts, and style experts. First, June Ambrose. Second, Janetta Boone. Last but certainly not least, Stephen Burrows. What a great group of panelists. As you all know, judging from the applause here, June and Janetta are both well known in the fashion circles all over the world and have worked with countless superstars to help them get their swag on. Stephen Burrows is best known for his distinguished career as the first Black international designer. That's impressive. With them, we're going to journey back and take a look at the fashion, accessories, and the attitude. You can't forget about the attitude on the runways in the 60s and the 70s that had an undeniable effect and impact on the way we all dress today. Sound pretty exciting so far? Yes. Okay, so to get us started and better acquainted with the panelists, they've got a long, impressive bio. I'm very pleased this evening to introduce our host.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. What a fantastic crowd to come out in these conditions. Give yourself a round of applause. So we're going to talk fashion. If you love fashion as much as I do, you're going to be excited about the panel that we have. We're talking specifically about soul style. Anybody know what that is? Yeah, you kind of understand that? We're talking about style influences from the era of the 60s and the 70s. Now, I see a lot of babies out here. Who remembers the style of the 60s and the 70s? Yeah? Yeah, like who? From who? Give me some celebrities. Twiggy. Yes, who else? Give me some black people. Diana Ross. Yes, yes, yes. Y'all know it's who? Yes. Oh. Okay, so without further ado, I want to bring up this fantastic panel. We're going to talk about it all. We're going to talk about celebrities. Do you know it's the 40th anniversary of Mahogany this year? Right? Oh, don't make me do my...
I know.
I'm not going to do it. Okay, so let me bring up first celebrity fashion stylist and designer who has worked with the who's who in the entertainment industry and revolutionized fashion. And if you follow her on social media, oh my God, she's my spirit animal. I do believe. June Ambrose. You're not going to bring the phone? You're not going to tweet? I can't believe you're not going to be Instagram photographing this.
I love that match.
Of course she does. You know,
I said on social media today the color was black. That was a psych out.
Well, you look fabulous as always, and of course you Burrows. I know, see? A real New Yorker. I love him. I love him. And last but not least, noted costume designer, fashion stylist, and designer Janetta Boone has created memorable period looks and everything from The Notebook, hello Valentine's Day, to Cadillac Records. Janetta Boone, please come. And your microphones are hot, everybody, so I'm going to sit here. Let's get started. Okay, so before I brought you up, I talked about, I know that's a very broad, huge question, but for you, what does Black style specifically mean? Is it definable?
You know, I think style in itself is about energy and personality and attitude, and you know, I don't like the idea of a box. I mean, like, we celebrating Black History Month, but it's to me, it's history.
Yeah.
It's not just about today and this month. It's about being liberated and being celebrated every day of your life. And for me, my style, Black style, white style,
Yeah.
you know, it's relative. I mean, it's really about the spirit in you, you know, what lives inside of you, and how you interpret fashion. Because fashion is mute without style. You know, it's, when you look at a hanger, it doesn't have a name, you know, but the person picking it up has everything that it's going to need to give it life. So that's what it means to me. It's life. It's living, and living out loud.
I love that.
I don't like to be mute.
We know. And we love that about you. We know. And there, I mean, there's, you know, we just having a great conversation here. There are no right or wrong answers. It's all what speaks to you. So for you, do you like the same
back
way?
then it was all about wrecking the room when you came into the room.
Oh, wrecking the room. Tweet that, tweet that. Hashtag.
Travel in a clique. Well, you call it a posse now, but it was a clique.
Yeah.
And we'd all arrive at the same time and wreck the room. And that was...
How did you wreck the room? Like break that down. What would you show? The way you
dressed and the way we came into the room. We all arrived together. It was like 15, 20 people.
Really?
All dressed in my clothes, of course.
Right.
So,
And you all didn't plan kind of a theme for what you were wearing. Everybody would just be fabulous
no, they
to show
just
up.
came to my house and put on my clothes. Except for the dresses, of course.
Right.
For the dresses, but everything else, that's why I had to keep making clothes.
Yeah.
Because they take them and I never see them again.
But that meant that they were great.
Yes.
That they were fabulous items.
And I find years later we're moving and where did you get all these things? I've been looking all over with these things. And my friends had them.
Well, at least they held on to them because they knew they would be worth something. All right, and John Netto, what about you? How do you define Black style?
Well, actually, speaking to what Stephen and both June were saying, it's all about body language. It's culturally. I mean, we just can't help it. You can put this, everyone can put the same white dress on, but when you put it on a body with shape and with culture and richness and substance, then it just comes alive. And then the accessories, we're not afraid to change prints and change styles and add a little bit of flair. And then once you add that flair, it just illuminates beyond recognition. So Black style for us is exactly, it's who we are. It comes from the tribe.
It is.
You know, it goes way back to the beginning of time. Africa was the first continent. So it all comes from that.
Yeah. Does it bother you all when you see other groups getting credit for things that really got its root in Black culture, like raids and things like that, when it has to do with style? Because there's a lot of style that comes from just it's urban style.
That's right.
That ends up on, it comes from the street.
That's right.
You know, you see it in New York, and the next thing you know, it's on the pages of Vogue.
Yeah.
But it's not us in those photographs.
Well, they do say that imitation is the best form of flattery.
That's right.
But are you flattered? Or are you like,
I say claim it. We claim it.
Yes.
We claim it. We own it.
Yes.
It's a distraction if you think about, it's been celebrated.
Yes.
We know where it came from,
Yes.
and we can talk about where it came from. It's thought-provoking. It's a conversation. Like you saw, sideburns on the runways of Paris this season. It's always a nod and throwback to urban and Black fashion. It's so exciting to me. It's so celebratory because we know exactly where it came from.
Yeah.
So it gives us life, even, again, like you said, we wreck the room.
Right.
They're wrecking the runway with all the things that, we kind of culturally and naturally we evoke. I think that's a great compliment. Doesn't make me sad at all.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't just me saying it. It is what it is. No, it is what it is. But let me ask the ladies here about, just kind of why you think 70s style has such a hold, why it's had such staying power over the years.
I think women weren't afraid to be women back then. You think about everything that was going on, the celebration of curves, that bell bottom, that poom poom. It was like that, the go-go group from the 60s. It was like we really celebrated our bodies back then in a very tasteful, glamorous way.
Yeah, no lining helped you do that.
Fetal body or no fetal body. I live for a lining now.
I'm going to think about you, Steve. Every time I put something on it, it has lining in it.
Oh, God forbid. Yeah, but I think that was like something that really captivated me. The fact that, that it was okay. You could be in the poorest of neighborhoods, but there was still something. I didn't grow up rich, but my mother was like, she had moments of rich. She was very glamorous. And I didn't know where it was coming from. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's understanding glamour is like understanding how to be sexy. It's not necessarily...
You can't do it.
It's not necessarily the garment, it's the soul, it's the spirit, it's the confidence, right? It's the how you walk, how you talk. And, I've used this antidote many times with my celebrity clients, female clients, like, what is sexy, what is glamour? Like, find it. And we'll put on clothes, piece after piece after piece, and then not until, like, you sit back and you rest and you feel it, you emote. You know when you put on something and you just feel so delicious, right? That's the moment we all wait for as women. We put on our bra, we put on our panties, TMI, but we're grown.
It is what it is.
And we start to connect. And that, to me, is where glamour, the spawn of glamour is born, from the spirit of a woman.
Bra, panties, lashes.
And a bra.
In that order.
Hello. Another chic. She got the chic award.
So my question is, I interviewed Michelle Gaynor, Vintage Black Fashion, a combination of raw fashion, vintage, and she has stated that nowadays either you're in fashion, that you're very glamorous and you want to get dressed up, or you're not. So my question is, do you think that everyday women who aren't into fashion are into glamour, or are they afraid of it?
That's a tricky question.
It's something they know.
What do you mean they don't know, Stephen?
They just don't have the information or the what they need to make them feel that way. I just think it's
very important that we're constantly nourishing designers, we're nourishing businesses and giving them the opportunity to really showcase their work. So look it up.
Okay. The young lady right behind you had a question a long time ago.
I have a question. I know you guys were discussing the soul era, but with the millennial girl, we post things on Instagram, we don't want to wear it again. If you have the opportunity to redesign what investment pieces are considered, would you do that for the millennial girl or no?
That's an interesting question. Anybody?
I think it's always an opportunity to redesign investment pieces. Absolutely. Because you can redesign them by adding a little pop or taking a pop away. You can change a neckline. You can change buttons. I mean, there's always a way to reinvent the past. People are doing it. Designers are doing it every day, all day, for decades, for centuries.
It's style by design.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This year, so far we've trained over 70 companies at the workshop, and we've launched 7 here at Macy. So we're really proud of the work that we're doing with new and upcoming designers. It's really intense, 4.5-day program, and we take everyone through everything from how to run your business to expanding your assortment, your line, getting yourself prepared, how to have a conversation with your vendor partner, with your merchant partners, and what the expectations are. So we're really proud of a lot of the work that we do here, and that is one of the cornerstones of what we do. So we're really, really... What's your name? It's my name?
Yeah.
So Sean Outler, I'm Senior Vice President of Weddings and Gifts and Multicultural Business Development.
This is for the buyers, it's for the editors, it was a trade concept that has turned into somewhat more of a more commercial concept. And I understand what you're saying, and I'm thankful. That's why I'm so excited about, kicking off Black History Month and fashion, becoming Fashion Week with this event.